One of the most widely accepted benefits of leveraging public cloud services for running applications is the speed and agility with which we can deploy new infrastructure and environments. Agility and speed of change bring challenges to security and stability. For this reason, it's not enough to simply design a cloud environment with security in mind and deploy cloud resources with secure configurations. In the first few lessons, we focused on designing cloud environments securely. We now want to get a better sense of how to keep those environments secure at all levels and through all phases of their lifecycle, from development to production. The first step is to have visibility into what is deployed or going to be deployed in your cloud environments. Focus on three major categories: resources related to the management, such as user roles and permissions; network and infrastructure components; and your data. Where is it and what does it contain? How sensitive is it? For each of these three categories, work with security and compliance teams to develop a firm understanding of potential threats and vulnerabilities. Organizations and engineering teams should quantify specific vulnerabilities that could increase risk and lead to exploitations. The second key item is to ensure checks and processes are in place to scan for and identify vulnerabilities and configurations which are not in line with security best practices. These processes should be automated and be capable of checking each part of the application stack, from the code all the way down to the core cloud infrastructure services. When it comes to the cloud, some of the most obvious vulnerabilities are server instances that are deployed without any OS hardening, exposure of secrets, overly permissive firewall rules, or overly permissive IAM policies. Identification of these types of vulnerabilities needs to happen during all phases of the lifecycle, starting from architecture design and code development all the way to post-production. Identification and remediation of vulnerabilities earlier on drastically reduces risk of exploitation. We call this idea shift left. The principle is based on the idea that bugs found earlier in the lifecycle of a system or application are cheaper to fix. We can equate the cost of fixing a bug to the amount of risk an identified vulnerability poses to the system. For this reason, it is critical to always keep security in mind early on when designing and developing your cloud environments and applications. Lastly, we want to be able to identify suspicious activities so that active threats can be identified and remediated as soon as possible. It is important that security-related changes to the environment are also being monitored continuously. It is critical that tools and processes for defensive threat detection and incident response be applied to all layers of the stack, including user activity, network traffic monitoring, and cloud configuration. Security monitoring tools should be implemented in all environments, not just production. As an architect, it is essential that you design environments with the right tools in place for threat defense and monitoring.